Hello and welcome into the RotoWire Fantasy Soccer Podcast. I am Andrew Laird, Senior Soccer Editor of RotoWire, joined on this Friday, April 30th by Jordan Cooper to talk about an actual 3-game Premier League slate. Jordan, it's been like 2.5 years since we've had more than a 2-game or a showdown, so welcome back.
Yeah, but then we get a 3-game slate that lasts the entire day. So it's like you got to complain about something. It's like, can we get back? Can we wait until next season where we get back to having 4 or 5 games at the same time?
What was weird to me about all of it is that there is a 4 to 5 game soccer slate on Saturday mornings where all the matches start at the same time. And yet, no, we'll give you the small tournaments for the Bundesliga, which is significantly more fun than the Premier League. And we'll let you guys work your 9 to 5 for the Premier League one.
And there's going to be work on this slate.
I mean, we're getting to the point of the season, particularly with like the Champions League teams. Chelsea's obviously one of them on this slate where like we see a lot of rotation, but like we're inching really close to that whole like teams are out of the relegation zone. They have no shot at Europe. And we start seeing like 12-year-old kids from the academy come out. And on super staggered slates like this, it could be a mess. Yeah, it could be a mess.
Yeah, but I mean, I think on this slate, if I had a choice, I'd rather have the Chelsea game first.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's the lineup that will like basically decide the slate. And I guess it's good that it's not the last one if we want to find some sort of silver lining there.
Right. Well, they're the biggest favorites on the slate. They're home, minus 188 favorites over Fulham, 2.25 total. These are very low total games.
Yeah, they are.
Then we have Everton plus 107 at home against Aston Villa. That's the highest total, but that's 2.5. Then Brighton plus 114 at home against Leeds, and that's a 2.5 total. And Brighton desperately need to win.
Yeah.
Brighton desperately needs to score goals.
Yeah, just anything. Yeah. Any positive thing would be good for them.
But on this slate, do you think the key player on the slate you have to choose, you have to decide on whether or not he's a priority or not, is Mason Mount?
Yes. Yes.
I don't think he is, but I'm just saying that, like, for roster construction, paying $10K for a midfielder in the second game, like, I think dramatically affects what like you start your lineup construction with to begin.
Yes, I agree with that. I think like the more I went through lineups, like I think you can get away with not playing him. And the fact that like I think there are more reasons not to play him than to play him. And so I actually don't think he's going to be like that popular in cash because
well, that's if he plays. That's
right.
One of the key points is not only do you play Matt, even if you knew if all 3 games started at the same time and Mason Mount was in, I'm not sure that you need to play him to begin with. And then we have this slate where it's the second game where if you say, okay, I want to play Mason Mount, and then he's not in the starting lineup, then what do you do?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it comes down to. That I think you want to build a lineup without him, and like I think he's the one that you're like, do I play him or not? And when there are 5 reasons and ways that you can build a lineup without him, putting yourself in a situation of potentially not having him and not having somebody from the first game to replace him with, I just don't think he's worth prioritizing.
No, I agree with you. Now
it would be different if we knew he was playing. Right.
And we have Rafinha. Rafinha will not be playing tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. I mean, we would have known that the first game anyway. So wouldn't have affected you. As far as forward is concerned, I don't believe that this is a dinky-do slate.
I agree.
There's really not much down there to pay for, or we even know if they're in.
Right.
Do you think that the chalk combination that you just play James and Gross and you're done?
I think so. I mean, that's the reason you don't play Mount because
you can't play all three.
Right. Gross will know. I mean, him not starting would be more surprising than anything else. But yeah, I think that's where most people go.
Right. And then Gross is actually, March is injured, so you don't have to worry about him. Gross is actually playing more as like a wing back now, which actually probably even increases his open play value.
For sure.
James is James. It's Everton. They're favored. He's probably the highest floor on the slate, so you just play him.
Yeah.
El Ghazi is the interesting one.
Yeah.
Because Grealish is out.
Yeah,
I don't know when he's going to be back. But it really depends on if Barkley's in, El Ghazi is going to lose all set pieces. El Ghazi is great in open play regardless.
Yep.
But I think at 9,200, when you have James and Gross below him, El Ghazi, you're not going to play all three in the same lineup. So with him being in the late game, I'm going to play James over El Ghazi 10 out of 10 times as it is. And they're 300 apart. I'm not sacrificing Gross for that. So to me, El Ghazi is the guy the third wheel. I'd love to play him, but I don't even care if you told me he even had a monopoly of set pieces. I'm not even sure you prioritize him over James and Gross anyway.
That's sort of where I ended up with, is that the Aston Villa set piece situation. We saw Target take a bunch last week. He hadn't taken in a meaningful number in a while. And even if we knew El Ghazi was going to take everything, just like you said, I don't think he becomes a priority over the other guys. And you're really, I don't know where you go if you try to play all three of them.
Right. And then underneath all this, to me, I just see a lot of GPP stuff.
Right.
A lot of, especially if you're not paying up for Mount in midfield at 10K. Grealish is injured at 9,500. I think we'll get to some of the mid-priced midfielders, but it's not like one of those slates where De Bruyne's on the slate where you're paying up at midfield most likely. Right. So to have to play a cheap forward in cash games at least, I don't even think is necessary. But I'm not going to play Lookman against Chelsea.
Yeah,
I'm not targeting Fulham players. We got Pulisic if he's in, or even Richarlison, those types. In this range, not a big fan of. Weird to say, but if I were to play a cheaper guy, Calvert-Lewin has the highest goal scoring odds on the slate, which is not that high. It's plus 125. But he's 6,500. I see the 6K range as if Giroud starts for Chelsea at 6,000. It's you're getting no floor here. But still, comparison to the 6K midfielders, how much floor are you getting with them to begin with? And if you need to fill a forward spot, I think I'd rather try to capture ceiling at that price than there are guys that you go cheaper with, but who knows?
I think the issue just becomes if you're looking at those guys in cash, or because they're cheap. I think it all comes back to why are you not just playing James and Gross? I am not sure what you're getting out of.
Well, I think it's because you're paying up twice a defender. Is that needed? I don't think so, but I'm just saying. I think this slate you could play 3 defenders on.
Yeah, you could.
But I just don't think you necessarily need to sacrifice a forward position for a 6K forward.
Right. Yeah, correct.
That has no floor. That's in GPP, you do it. So obviously my favorite guy, if he's in the Leeds lineup, is we got some cheap Leeds guys. Hilda Costa, right? 3,800. Roberts, 3,700. But even then, it's I don't mind playing those guys even in midfield spots, but I just feel I'm playing a $3,800 guy in the forward spot so I can play James or Gross in a utility slot. The forward eligibility doesn't matter at that point. To me, the only time you use those players is if you're paying 10K for Mount.
Right.
Which I don't think is optimal.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where where you go if you play Mount. But I just don't think that ends up being optimal.
Right. Maybe we get a Pafeda, a compost start, but I don't think that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of the guys down here are like underpriced where you're like, oh, I should get that. Like, I think they're all appropriately priced. And so if you're going to play somebody like that, you're like, you're buying 4 points, maybe 5.
Maybe we get a Kane Davis start for Aston Villa. Problem is you won't know that.
Right.
I'm not saying that he's like, oh my God, you got to plug him in. I mean, he'll be a center forward. He'll have no floor.
Right.
And it'll be 3,500, but at least he'll have some goal scoring potential.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
In theory.
Right. For an away underdog.
They're not that big. It's Aston Villa.
I guess.
I play Aston Villa players over Fulham players.
Sure. Yep.
Are you paying 7,000 for Mitrovic on this slate?
No, I'm not. That's a wacky one. I mean, I mean, nobody's really looking at him, but you obviously play Calvert-Lewin over him.
Right.
Or even Bamford.
In the midfield, what are we doing with Chelsea? If Mount is okay, what do we do if Mount is in? What do we do if Mount is not in? And does it matter?
Well, I don't think you play him if he's in, because I think you've already made your move to play.
Okay, but I'm not talking about Mount. I'm talking about the other guys. I'm talking about Ziyech. I'm talking about Havertz. Maybe he gets the start. Like, do we look at these Chelsea guys if Mount is in, or do we only care about them if Mount is out?
I don't think you play them in cash if he's in. And I'm not sure they're required if he's out. Like, I just don't see them becoming priorities, which, I mean, yeah, I just don't think they're priorities. I think you're better off just.
Okay, because in this range, we're looking at those guys. Jack Harrison at 7,500. I don't think he's necessary. And then Ross Barkley at 6,000, but he may not even start.
Right.
So is this the type of thing that because you could plug in Barkley, and then if he doesn't start, just play John McGinn, 100 lower, and okay.
You have a guy at least.
You have a guy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of paying 5,900 for John McGinn, but he's not bad. I mean, he does stuff at least, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's fine.
So you're saying you don't think that you should even be in this range at all? We should go down twice at midfield underneath.
I just don't think. I think if you end up having to change any other position because of what you do at midfield, it's the wrong move. Like, I think you're just basically trying to fill midfield spots by the end, specifically because we're not targeting Mount. Excuse me. Yeah, I think all the Chelsea guys, whoever starts, are great GPP plays because they're obviously the biggest favorite. You have to wonder who gets rotated because they have this match next week also for the Champions League. So, like, I wouldn't trust anybody for 90 minutes that I would want in this lineup. And so I think there are just too many question marks.
Right. I think that the guys that you target on Chelsea are more the wing backs.
Yes.
So then who are we playing at midfield? Are we just okay, a good old boring Calvin Phillips?
Yeah. Yes.
That's my type of play.
Yeah. I think he's the right call, though.
Right. Split set pieces.
Yeah.
On a favored team. He's 4,500. It's a 3-game slate.
Right. Yeah.
Give me those 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
Then who's your second one?
I don't think Harrison is a bad play. I wouldn't play him with Phillips, but
I just think he's overpriced.
I think he's efficiently priced.
Okay.
I'll put it that way. I think you just build. I think you have to put in your defenders before you decide who the other midfielder is.
Okay, but then who is it? I'm going through, and it's like Costa Roberts, right? I mean, like who? Who are we looking at? Andre Gomez? No. I mean, what would Jacob Moder? I don't even know who that guy is, but he may be playing. 3,200
wingback. Yeah, I think you're like you'd be fine with somebody like the other Chelsea midfielders, not the attacking guys, but I think you could just fill the spot with Conte or Jorginho.
You're going to pay 4,900 for Jorginho?
Well, I'll just play Conte, but
he may not be in. That's why this Chelsea lineup matters so much because who knows?
But I don't think you're necessarily like if one of those guys is out. Like I think, I mean, like Kovacic is out anyway, so like he's not going to play. But I think you can take a cheap guy from there.
I think we're at the point that like your second midfielder is just you could take one of any of these 10 guys. Just it's a guy.
It's a guy. Yeah,
right.
It's absolutely just a guy.
It's just a dude. I guess so. I guess you can make that construction. Depends on what you do at defender. So basically, you'd be doing Phillips plus just the guy, to basically pay up twice a defender. Which that may be correct. There are actually more defenders that I'd rather play than the midfielders.
Oh, I mean, I wish I could play defenders in midfield spots.
Right. I mean, there are defenders that I'll play over Phillips.
Sure.
That are his price.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? That are actually his. I mean, not yeah. Obviously, we could talk about the Chelsea guys. I have to assume that they're going to rotate, and it's going to be like James and Alonso, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't think Chilwell will start. I think Azpilicueta, I don't think it matters. I mean, they'll play a back three. They may give him a rest. Maybe they go to a back four. Who knows?
I think it's perfectly viable to play any of them.
Right.
And two of them.
Right.
Like I think you could play both and just be fine.
Right. I don't think Lucas Digne is a priority.
No.
But he's playable.
Sure.
Right. 6,300. Okay, fine. But I could say the same thing for Matt Target also.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, I think
I like going down to Alioski at 3,900.
That seems a weird price to me, but I think he's fine. I think you'd be fine playing Alioski with two
Chelsea defenders. Like you'd be playing right, exactly. But I just see no reason why Ayling would be 5,200 and Alioski would be 3,900. Like it seems like Alioski is underpriced.
Yep.
But not by that much, by maybe 600 or something. If Alioski was 45, 4,600, I'd be like, okay, he's fine.
Yeah, I think I don't think there's a reason to. I mean, we talked about how I guess the reason to try to get as many cheap defenders as possible is if you're trying to jam this gross James Mount lineup that I just don't think is reasonable.
Or you're in GPP and you're playing, El Ghazi and you're playing Calvert-Lewin, El Ghazi, you're playing a Bamford, like you're playing goal scorers in a bunch of your lineups. You're playing Jack Harrison in the midfield spot. Like, yeah, there are lineup constructions, but those are all GPP constructions.
Yes.
But I don't think this is the type of slate where you're going down and paying, $2K for a center back or something.
Exactly.
I think that just a guy is that level player in a midfield spot. Like if you're going to go down and pay, Liam Cooper, he's out. Adam Webster, you going down to this 3K range. Ben White, like just play a 3K midfielder.
Yeah.
It's almost like the opportunity cost of defender is actually too high.
Exactly.
Midfield, actually, there's almost no opportunity cost.
Yeah. I mean, like Allen from Everton is 3,000. He's the minimum midfielder. So like If I saw lineup cash lineups with him, like I get it, it's fine.
Imagine you could play Allen in a defender spot. Like, okay, then play him there. I mean, like that's the point. It's like the only reason, like the M designation doesn't matter that much. If actually the M was a D, we'd be playing more defenders.
I mean, I think we would if they had midfield defender spots, I think we'd be playing 5 of those guys.
Right.
Like 5 defenders.
Yes.
Maybe Phillips sneaks in, but
right.
Yeah.
Lewis Dunk 4,300. Got to score a goal then, right?
Who?
Lewis Dunk is 4,300.
That
guaranteed goal then. He's going to score, and people are going to go. DraftKings knew. They knew.
They knew. I love that. I think it's a perfectly viable Mendy slate.
Yeah. You don't have to pay all the way down. I don't necessarily think Areola is going to be highly owned or anything.
No, I don't think anybody will. I think they're all just kind of
someone will. Someone, and of course someone will. Blanket statement. No one.
You think someone will be significantly owned?
Oh no. I mean, I think you meant no one was going to play Areola.
Oh no. I mean, no. I don't think there's going to be a single goalkeeper that everybody is going to because, for some reason,
that's whatever fits to me. I mean, this is like a whatever fits slate.
But I think it's okay if you prioritize goalkeeper over midfield.
Oh, no, I would agree with right. If you're like, do I play Helder Costa at 3,800 versus like Allen at 3,000, and then I could go from like Sanchez to Mendy, like just get Mendy.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's what you mean by like the just the guy in the midfield spot. Like, don't prioritize the just the guys. They're just guys.
Yep. I mean, every goalkeeper is just a guy too, but at least I'm getting, 60% win odds or whatever it is. Yeah. Do you know what's funny?
There's that dramatic of a difference? Yeah, there's a dramatic enough difference.
Yeah.
The clean sheet percentage for Mendy is 48%, and then Everton and Brighton are 31%. So yeah. So that almost makes me feel like paying for Pickford or Sanchez is kind of pointless.
I mean, if you can't find the 500 from Pickford to Mendy, like the guy that you chose is not cheap enough. Just go get a cheaper guy in your midfield spot.
But if you ended up with that lineup, it's not like it's goalkeeper. Who knows?
Yeah, I just think when I say I think you should prioritize goalkeeper, I think it's just Mendy.
Right.
Like prioritizing, saying like, oh, that's fine. I'll just take Pickford. Like, I don't think the gap in clean sheet odds is representative in the gap of their salary.
That's right. Like on this slate, Mendy probably should be like 6,300.
Yeah.
There should be $1,000 gap.
Right.
But as always, it's goalkeeper. So if Andrew's playing Mendy, that means he gets 3 points. Which is bad for that price, because that means he gives up a goal and still gets the win.
Mm-hmm.
No, it'll be a draw. It'll be a draw. He'll have -2. That'll be fine.
You know who's going to score the goal?
Mitrovic.
Yep.
Of course. $7,000 Mitrovic.
Mm-hmm.
He's 500 more than Calvert-Lewin. Why? What are they doing?
He's 1,200 more than Mendy.
Mitrovic. Where's Mitrovic on this? Where is he?
Did he not make the goal scorer chart?
Is he that bad? Oh no, I see him. They don't have him listed as a starter. Plus 335.
Yeah.
My 7K Mitrovic at plus 335 goals.
As an away biggest underdog on the slate. Yep, that's it. What's funny is that I don't know how much money I have left for my guy.
You're just a guy?
My just a guy?
How much?
4,900.
Oh, Jorginho. You have that much left for just a guy?
Excuse me, I have 5,000 left.
But still, that's a lot for just a guy. Who are you playing?
Yeah.
Let me put this in. Let me double check your work.
there's really no reason to play Jorginho at 5,000. So I'll have to do some other things.
Right. Well, who you assume? It depends on who you assume starts for Chelsea.
It's really a 2v2 that I should not play one of the other guys. I'm not here to give away lineups here. Hold on. Let me see. Does this? Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll play Conte. Never mind. Yeah, I know exactly what the 2v2
Just put together my lineup. Oh my God. You know how much money I have left?
$100?
5,000.
Oh, yeah. See? I know exactly.
I think we have the same line. I think we have the same lineup.
Yeah, I think so. The 2v2 is Alioski and Jorginho,
right,
versus Target and Conte. And I think the Conte side is better.
That may be true. I can't believe that you put. I'm like, oh, okay, how did you get there? And then I'd like literally, I got there.
Yeah, you walked right into it.
Okay, no. Let me double check your work. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's only assuming that James and Alonso are the starters for Chelsea.
Yep. Yeah, but it's
we're gonna have the same lineup, and people are gonna say that we're colluded.
Mm-hmm. We're doing it publicly.
Yeah, publicly. Everyone can do it with us.
Yeah. But I think it guarantees the Jorginho penalty, and the Fulham goal somewhere.
Well, we have to see if all these people are in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, we're going to get the lineups. Who knows?
There's also a social media boycott going on by all the Premier League teams, so none of the lineups will be on Twitter on Saturday.
Why are they boycotting?
It's a boycotting against racism, maybe.
So they can't post on social media because of that?
Yeah, they're all going dark for the weekend. All social media.
Oh, so it's for awareness. But I mean, the actual act has nothing to do with racism.
I think it's...
So like Twitter's racist. We're not going to...
Oh, no.
And that's what I mean. Like that just sounds like a weird...
No.
Kind of like putting the black
social
box
media
on Instagram. It's for awareness purposes. And because everyone will notice that they're not posting. And okay, I get it. But it makes it sound... When you introduce that, it just makes it sound... Oh, they're not posting due to racism. It's like, are they getting that much trolls on their Twitter accounts that they have to...
Well, probably, but yeah.
Hey, they probably are.
Yeah. All right.
Can we go dark on social media to give awareness to not having 3 separate games at different times for the Premier League? Are they going to pay attention to us?
DraftKings will definitely care.
Right. I'm not going to tweet over the weekend until the Premier League goes to 4 games, or they just DraftKings switches to Bundesliga.
The answer is like right in front of them of how to make this.
Now they think the Premier League is so much more popular.
Yeah, they do.
It probably is. Well, I mean, because it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
other than the fact that it is, yeah.
2 of our schmucks, right? Right.
The RotoWire Discord is much more comfortable with the Bundesliga at this point.
I'd much rather, if I didn't have to play this crap, I'd play the Bundesliga easily.
Yeah. Yep.
When they finally added that during COVID, I'm like, oh, this is what soccer DFS is supposed to be.
The best part is that the entire slate is over and paid out before the second Premier League game starts.
Right.
In fact,
and it's a 5-game slate, and there's probably like 22 goals in it.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to this slate where if you pick out the 3 goals, you win. Right. There you go.
Yeah. It's oh well. If anybody has any follow-up for Jordan, you can find him on Twitter at Blenderhead. You can find me at RotoWire Andrew. As always, you can find me in the RotoWire Discord, which is open for all subscribers. Just go to rotowire.com/chat to join that. You can find all of Jordan's stuff at theoryofdfs.com, as well as youtube.com/Jordan Cooper. I think we'll be back next week. This is if the schedule allows it. As you may have noticed, we're only doing anything bigger than a 2-game slate, even though these are 3-game slates and full 9 to 5s. We'll still talk about them leading up to the final game week, which will actually have everybody starting at the same time, but we've got a little time before that. So anyway, Jordan, thank you for that, and good luck on Saturday.
Try RotoWire today, free for 10 days. Get our premium tools, rankings, analysis, and breaking news alerts. No credit card required. Go to rotowire.com/try.